Yep, we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this.
Up in a minute.
Yep. Happy New Year, everyone. Good to see people coming in. Appreciate that. Yep.
Because wellness begins with we. Intermountain Health, the power of we.
Did you miss one of your favorite Raiders radio shows? Podcast for the morning tailgate, the JT the Brick Show, Unnecessary Roughness, and all found on our website. So check out SportsNetwork.com anytime and listen whenever you want. Sound off, Raider Nation. Join JT the Brick weekdays from noon to 2 p.m. from the most interactive talk show in sports talk radio. We are RNR 920 AM, KRLD Las Vegas.
You're listening to the JT the Brick Show, where the Raider Nation has come to sound off and react for over 20 years.
It's the JT the Brick Show, broadcasting live from the Finley Cadillac Performance Studio.
Raiders bring a blitz. He takes it off the middle, and he's wrapped up from behind. Max Crosby.
Your silver and black home to sound off for over 20 years.
Open at the 35, racing to the 20, 10. Touchdown, Raiders!
And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT. Happy New Year, everyone. The new year isn't here yet, but these are the final two shows of the year. I'll be live tomorrow at Raiders headquarters, which is always cool for Raiders Rundown. Our final show of the year, I got one more tonight down at Wynn Resort for Mad Dog Sports Radio. And man, have I been busy this last week, man. This is a 6-day-a-week radio week coming into this week. The voice is beat up. The passion and energy are still there, and we got one more week in the NFL coming up. Got a Monday night game tonight, which is really big. Niners and the Lions. Lions can't afford to lose. I thought they were the best team in football all year. My Super Bowl pick was the Detroit Lions, and they can't take their foot off the gas. They have the most injuries of any team in the entire NFL. Number one, Raiders are 2. Raiders are 2 with players on IR and not available to play, games missed. The Lions are 1, and if they win tonight, they'll have the percentage 1 seed, but it comes down to Minnesota, and the Lions is the final game of the year. Man, the NFL loves to flex into the great game. That's kind of a new tradition now. The last game of the year, which is Sunday Night Football, is the most important game of that week, and it might be the most important game of the year. Remember when the Raiders eliminated the Chargers and won in overtime to go to the playoffs and eliminated the Chargers? And the irony of the Chargers coming in to Allegiant Stadium this coming Sunday with nothing to prove. Nothing to prove after the Raiders put up 63 on their ass last year, which is part of the history of the rivalry. It is. But now the Raiders are long out of the playoffs, and the Chargers, and it looks like the Broncos and the Chiefs, obviously, will all go in. Denver's got a massive game against Kansas City, but reports coming out nationally, Ian Rappaport and other insiders, they're not going to play their starters at all, and they don't have to. They've accomplished everything. They can't move up or down. So Kansas City could roll over against Denver. I don't know. Maybe Kansas City's reserves can beat Denver. Maybe. And Cincinnati and Miami are still alive for the final spot, the 7th spot. And that's where we're at. Again, I hope you had a great Christmas. If you're currently celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. And thanks to everybody who has supported us this year. You could be watching me right now on our YouTube channel, JT the Brick YT. We launched that really with no real expectations, just something to put up there. And we're really happy with the numbers, the success, the platform. And it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get bigger year in and year out. We just started something new. And we launched my raw feed, as my son calls it. Dad, it's your raw feed. The show we do tomorrow is the Raiders cleaned up feed. This is the raw feed where I get to talk to our viewers and listeners during the breaks, and people get to get after it and get going from there. Tomorrow will be our final show of the year. We'll take a look back at the year in all of sports. I do that every year. I'll give my State of the Union. I give that every year as I wrap up this year and we go into a new calendar year. I've been on the radio uninterrupted in multiple time slots, double dipping for 27 years almost. And I'm very proud of the audience that we've had and grown and, you know, what we've done. And I put everything into this. This was I wouldn't say it's a hard year. I don't mean it's a hard year. It's been a cranky year. As my wife calls me, Cranky Yankee. It's been cranky around here on this platform with Raider fans, but the majority of them are great. The majority of them are unbelievable. They're kind to me and my family. I hope you can say the same about me if you know me. And for the ones who are just spinning out of control because the team is continuing to win games, that's the focus of the monologue, brought to you by PTs. They fuel the monologue. 5 to 7, midnight to 2. My longest standing partner, well over decades here, Golden Entertainment, all the taverns, 70 plus, and everything they do at the Strat. So I've struggled this year because the team lost a lot of games. And I anchor the pregame and the postgame and their flagship station shows and 2 TV shows. I have the exclusive interview with the head coach. I host Raiders Roundtable every Monday with Gannon and Eric Allen. The new show they launched, Raiders Rundown, that they put on TV Saturday night with Cisco and Thor, and we're hanging out at Jing in Summerlin, and all of a sudden everyone at the bar is looking at me. I'm saying, please don't, as we're on every TV there. That was interesting because I'm not out at that time, and there was 7 TVs that had the show on, and that's basically our radio show that they cut up and turn it into a TV show on Saturday night. So today, this arguably was one of the busiest years I've ever had in my career with the Raiders, and it was rewarding for me. It always is, because I take the losses really hard, and I want the team to win because I want the players and the coaches and the owner to win. I want the fans to have a blast, and it's a little bit easier on me when they're winning than they're losing. So if you look at the entire year of 2024, the way it ended last year, we started the year not making the playoffs, but Antonio Pierce secured the job from interim head coach to our summer in Costa Mesa, which I enjoyed. That's kind of like a work vacation for me. I really enjoyed that, getting to Orange County. And then the entire year going into this last game of the season, it's been hard on everyone. The players, the coaches, the wives, everyone involved, the radio station. It's a lot easier to come in. There's 2 philosophies in sports radio. When everything's chaotic and bad, it's better for ratings. It's better for radio. I've never been a fan of that. I've had good numbers my whole career. No one's ever told me my ratings. I see our streaming numbers are enormous on this platform, what we're doing here at Lotus, which is great because we have a national show. We have more listeners, more viewers outside of Vegas than we have in Vegas, and we're based in Vegas. So that's cool to me. As I've said, I could not host this show if it was just on in Vegas. That's not a shot at anybody. It's just a fact. I got other things to do. I would be doing a show, but I need to know that we have an audience outside of Las Vegas, because Las Vegas is not ready for the Raiders just yet. They're not. They're not ready for UNLV football. Really, if you see some of the tickets that should be sold, and that's gaining. They're ready for the Golden Knights, that's for sure. But, we are still, as a sports radio town, and we've been on the radio out here for a long time. The advent of professional sports in this marketplace that has recently evolved into the sports and entertainment capital of the world, there's been some growing pains, but now that we have a flagship station that the team cooperates with, because I was on the flagship stations up north, and the radio stations didn't cooperate with the Raiders. They were adverse to the Raiders at times, which was remarkable. Here, everybody's on the same page. We don't get it perfect every day, but we try. And we got great advertisers and great partners who I'll be thanking. So with all that, it was a tough year. And the year's coming to an end with the final game of the year. That'll be in 2025. And then I truly believe